Hiya Cole, great session as usual. Good to see the swings coming on a treat. The massive improvements you've made over the last 6 months are starting to pay dividends, certainly with your ball striking and a few better scores coming in there. So hopefully we can kick on, and next year I think is going to be a real fun year for you. So let's take a little look at the swing itself and the changes that we suggested after yesterday's session. One of the things we notice is that the backswing, we're looking good at this point, but then we still lose that pressure point between the arms and the chest from here on in. There's no real need for you to go much further than that. And what's going to happen now is you can see that right elbow lifting. As the right elbow lifts, the arms are coming off the rib cage. That's throwing the swing a little bit too long and causing you to play catch up during the downswing. So it's just causing your problems in regards to synchronizing the backswing, or synchronising the downswing, should I say. Pardon me. So we need to discipline the arm swing a little bit. What we also need to then look at is the first move down. This right shoulder tends to drop. Let's move that on. Shoulder playing at that point. Right shoulder tends to drop a little bit below playing here. Just a touch below. And as a result, that club just gets a little bit underneath us, and as a result we've then got to throw that right arm at the ball to get the club back on plane. So we'd like to see a little bit more on top of it with that right shoulder as you come through. You can see there's just that right arm's running out a little bit too early, moving away from you, so the right elbow leaving your side, just in an attempt to reach the golf ball. As you come through, again, shoulders quite steep. Just through impact, sort of approaching P8. When we're looking at it from face on, the same sort of issue. Right shoulder drops. We tend to get that sort of very low right shoulder look at P6 with a lot of spine tilt. Coming into the golf ball, and again that right arm and wrist just expanding a little bit too early on the way through, preventing that shaft from leaning forward. So what we then got you doing here on the bottom left is hitting some pull shots. Once you're hitting the pull shot, you're trying to feel that you're getting a little bit more on top of it with that right shoulder. So from the top of the backswing, you can see there your pressure points have been maintained much better on the way back. Just run this one. Not as long, much better discipline in the arms, not getting too long. Club face not as shut because the pressure points are being maintained. That's encouraging us to hinge the wrists a little bit more to get the club to parallel, or to get some distance on the arc, and in turn that's producing a better club face angle at the top. Now as you come into the golf ball and start you down, that right shoulder doesn't quite drop as much, still drops too much on that occasion, but not as much. And the right arm as a result is not working away from you quite as much on the way through, and is expanding more gradually. But you can see even on that shot there, the ball actually starts slightly right of that cane. As we joked about yesterday, you've not got a pull in you at this moment in time. So we definitely need to work on getting that right shoulder a little bit more on plane as you're coming down, not quite as open, quite as under, should I say, at P6. When you do that, the sensation you're going to get is as we see here. So on the top right, I'm going to demonstrate your normal move. Right shoulder drops, left shoulder raises. That's an exaggerated move, but that's the sort of problem we've got. Right shoulder dropping back, shifts everything to the right. Going to find it very hard there not to flip release it. What we want to try and get is we want to try and get that right shoulder working on top more, arms working out a little bit more, so that the club stays on top of or slightly above the right forearm as you're coming into P6. Much more in line with your hands. From there you can turn and keep turning through it without the fear of getting trapped. After a little bit of work on that, we then viewed it from face on once again, from the top or to the top. Much better discipline in the arms, much better first move down, and as we're approaching P6, not got quite as much tilt in the shoulders or the spine. So it is better, but it's not the finished article. If we also have a look at the effect that this has had on the loading of your angles on the way down, which is one of the things we discussed yesterday. And one of the things we were seeing give you a bigger image. The changes. So we can see there a little bit less tilt in the shoulders, a little bit less tilt in the spine, and a little bit more angle coming into the golf ball in regards to the shaft. Now, in order to improve that, one of the things that we need to work on in future sessions is your ability to load the shaft properly. Now, we just look at it sort of halfway back. Shaft loads to 90 degrees. There or thereabouts. We look at it halfway back on this swing. Same again. P3, approximately 90 degrees. So then as you start down from P4 to P6, that angle should then move more towards 70 degrees. So it should load a little bit more as we're starting down. Should do a pretty good job on that one. We then look at this one. Shorter arm swing, getting the left shoulder or the right shoulder a little bit more on top of the golf ball. Has now produced a little bit more lag as we're coming into it. So we've got a little bit more down lag, and we need to get that into a little bit more. We've gone there from 88 to 70. We want to get that from 88 to say 68. We want to increase that by about 20 degrees as we're coming down. The more we can increase that lag, the longer we can maintain that lag, the more chance we have of getting that shaft leaning towards the target at impact. So that's a few things that we can work on in the coming months. But for now, just work on pinning the arms to the chest, get that pressure point maintained all the way through the backswing and the through swing, and work harder on getting that right shoulder a little bit more on top of it. So when we're viewing it at P6, we want to see a much more level shoulder angle. Very similar to what we're going to see here with Grant Waite. Right shoulder working on play more. I'll just take you back to the same position in your swing. See the difference in the shoulder angle? Much less tilted. Right shoulder nowhere near as low. If anything, they're a little bit too level, although he is just short of P6 at that point. So on the right hand side, that's a much improved position, but it still needs to get a little bit more level. Good luck with it. Speak to you soon. Good luck in your coming events, and if you need anything, just feel free to give us a call. Well done.